Recently, I spent nearly an hour redesigning a viewer-submitted logo in the form of a custom infinity symbol. Now, on its own, well, it was still just an abstract mark, so I tried to turn it into a full logo using a word from the file name, Lux, and ultimately that led to the idea of combining the infinity symbol with the letter E. And I'd found a very nice serif typeface, very nice indeed, but the problem was that I would have to draw a custom letter E and then combine it with an infinity symbol. And that's where things get difficult, because drawing custom letters is where most designers ruin an otherwise solid concept. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do custom lettering properly. Now, the thing that's going to be tricky about this is I've got to kind of try and match the characteristics of whatever I do to this font, which may or may not work. We're going to go back to our basic one. We'll keep a copy of the E up here because I need to keep this as a reference because I don't want to mess this up typographically. So we're going to keep it here nearby and we're going to bring this in and we'll size this up. You know, we'll work to actual size. We're going to have to line this up as well. So without getting too into the typographical stuff, this part of the U dips lower than the baseline that the other letters sit on. So we definitely want to kind of line this up to that character rather than the bottom of the X, for example, or the L. And height-wise, I think we're pretty good there. So basically these kind of rounded elements would overshoot ever so slightly. So we'll make it a tiny bit more subtle. So size-wise, I know that this kind of bowl shape is pretty good. We probably have to get rid of those rounded corners for now because they conflict with what we're doing. And then what does the E look like again? How are we going to do this? Right, so we're going to cut. I think all of this, we'll cut it. We'll paste it back in. I'm going to try selecting these anchor points here and then press S for the scale tool, click on this point here and scale just towards the top. Wow, that's not working. That's fine. Plan B, we get rid of it all and we make a new circle because we're dealing with perfect circles here. So it's all fine. We'll just trim that point there and we'll just kind of line this up. Then we can scale to or from that point with our nice circle. And we need scale it. Oh, scaling is on. We definitely don't want that. Oh, there we go. So we should be able to kind of scale it up or down now. So infinity symbol, we want the infinity symbol. So we're kind of nodding to it here, but we're also doubling it up as just a bit of a flourish on the E. What we should also try actually is flipping it around the other way. So we're going to go O, reflect tool, and then alter option and click. Let's try again. Reflect it horizontally so it goes up instead of down. That looks awful. Maybe bring it down here and just sort of, oh, what are you doing, Dan? Oh, look, we've got another E. We've got a double E going on. Absolutely fantastic. And I think for this part of the E as well, because this is all a bit of a weird angle, yeah, I'm going to do the E at a downwards angle like this. I can't handle double E though. We're not going to do that. That's a terrible idea. So first of all, let's line this up here. We can adjust the angle for this. So what sort of angle? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can take a few creative liberties here. Now you can see this part of the E is thin. So that's why I've got that reference there. So we are going to make that thinner. In fact, we probably should work with some absolute sizes. So the stroke weight here, 8.352 is not good enough. We're going to go for 8, 9. Yeah. So the thickest part here matches the other letters. Does it? 10? No, that's too much. 9.5. There we go. That's how specific we're getting. And this detail does matter. It matters. So do it. Right. Okay. So in the thinnest part, we'll go 2.5. So 2.5 and 9.5, I need to remember those values. It's too thick now, isn't it? Just stick to 2, Dan. Right. And then we'll just kind of line this up here, just so we can get a rough idea of how this looks. So this is our custom E that, as you can see here, just doesn't work. So we're going to have to try thinning the top part down. And then we're going to have to thicken up this side part. Let's get rid of you for a second. Paste that back in. And then it gets thinner at the bottom again. So we're going to have to kind of go down here. What was that same thickness? Yeah, so we'll just copy and paste that same value. And we'll need to continue that width all the way over here as well. Just so we're being consistent. Why is it not going thinner? Oh, hang on. Have we got multiple width points, or have I screwed something up? I might have mucked something up here. Let's paste it in there. We'll paste it in here as well. Right, let's get rid of the stroke profile. So we can change that. This bit here, what have I done? I've clearly made a very wonky stroke profile. This bit right at the end here. Is that an extra point? I'm going to try and delete this point. We'll see if that fixes it. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, calm down. We're all good. So what's the width? 3.421. Oh dear, you had to complicate things, didn't you, Dan? Right, let's move that piece back down. And we should, more or less, I've shortened it a tiny bit, but we should be able to get this to line up nicely. There we go. So you can see with our custom-y, we're sort of trying to use the reference here to mirror the different changes in width. And this thicker part here, it's a bit thinner on the right, so I'm probably going to just bump it up a bit more. So optically, it does kind of look the same sort of width. And then we'll just move you over. Obviously, we'll smooth all that out. And then this bit here. Right, so we're going to bring this down lower. Looking at this now, this is not quite right, but we do have a bit of an opportunity here to bring this round and make our infinity symbol that way. We've just got to make sure we don't muck everything else up. So, how are we going to do it, Dan? It's a good question. Let's just try trimming this down. So we kind of want this to point back up. In fact, yeah, let's use a circle. Let's just get a brand new circle that hasn't been screwed up yet. And we're going to need to almost follow this direction. So I need like a line that is going to mark where these two would connect. So I can then move this onto the line and know that if I draw this, you see it's going to flow through there. And then this one is going to flow through there. So we're not actually going to connect it all, but we're going to line it up as if it would connect if the lines are connected. So that's pretty good there. And then we need another one going from here, kind of shooting up there. So let's make a cut. And then we will actually try and connect these two bits up. And then here, you can see we've got this like tail here shooting out a bit far. So I'm probably going to make the cut around about there. So something like that. So do you see what I mean? So we haven't connected them, but we want them to both flow through as if they would be connected. And then for the E here as well, this does feel a bit weird, just having it kind of all the same weight. So I don't know if we thicken up the end. We can definitely thin this point down to match. So we can just do this here by eye real quick. Are they overlapping? They're overlapping. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back a step. And we'll just make a cut, trim it down, and then nudge them back together like that. And then select them, average them, and we know that they're on top of the same point. Kind of doesn't look all that smooth here. So what I can't connect them. If I go ahead and connect them, it's gonna muck up all my width tooling. It just means I got to go and do it again, which is a bit of a pain. But the good thing about doing this is if I connect them, I can then use the smooth tool to just smooth this bit out here, which is kind of what I want. So maybe that trade-off is worth it. 11, I think it was. What else did I do it? I did 11 over here, I think. And then top and bottom I think it was 2. I mean, we could do 11 there as well. Oh, maybe. Yeah, actually, that could work. The angle's slightly off here, but that could work. What about if we go here, we go 2 here, and we go 2 here as well, and it sort of pushes that thickening all the way to the end. Like we could even push it a bit more. Actually, yeah, I quite like that. That's nice. And we've got to match the angle here as well. So again, what I'm going to do is just use this as a guide. And then back in outline mode, I can sort of just match that over here. And just turn it into a white box. So the cut now is the correct angle. So here you can see it's... oh, actually, no, it's quite similar. Oh, no, it depends. Yeah, we can either match that or we can match this line. So, I don't know. I feel like it needs to match the line because it's closer to this in proximity and this is a bit disconnected. So actually, maybe instead of having the line up there, what I'll do is I'll use this line here as a bit more of a guide and we'll build it out of that instead. Let's try that and we'll see how it looks. So we'll make a nice, lovely white box. And we'll do something like that. And I think my E is shrunk a tiny bit. So we're going to have to scale that up, I think. So let's get some guides in there. As I was saying, we've got to make sure that this does typographically fit with the existing font. So that's going to be our baseline there. Not the actual baseline like this. It's going to be for the curve. And then here, we're just going to set another one that overshoots slightly to account for the curve on that side. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, there we go. And if I move these red lines over, this is kind of where I have to make sure everything sits. So we're going to move this down so it sits there. And then we've got to bring it up. Oh, it's way too small. So it kind of sits there. And then typographically, this should be correct. So it should, yeah. And now we've just got to focus on the kerning. And that is the space between, in this case, the X and the E. So we don't want it all the way over here and we don't want it bunched up like this, sitting on top of each other. No, no, no. We're going to try and just nudge it a bit closer. And again, what you can do is you can zoom out really far or even flip it upside down to see any kerning issues a little bit easier. So we're kind of doing this by eye here. Let's move all these pieces out of the way. We've got E reference over there. And then this bit here, this is the only other bit that's sticking out. So if we were to go with this design, which I think is, it's a nod to the infinity symbol, but it's still got the elegance and everything. If we were going to go with this one, I don't know what this is. What on earth is this? But I think, what do I think? I think it was worth it because we managed to get something pretty sexy, and we did manage to look at custom lettering. That is something I do see a lot of designers. I do see them make this mistake where you kind of you either do custom lettering from scratch and don't hit those typographical nuances and it looks incorrect, or you try and customize one particular letter, but it doesn't fully match the others. So there's this kind of out of syncness. Now what we're going to do is expand we may as well expand everything. Yeah, let's expand everything. And now we can kind of polish up the rest of this. So here we've got this piece. We're going to use the shape builder tool to just knock that end off. So permanently that is gone. This line here, that didn't expand. So we're going to just make sure that expands as well. So it's now a shape. And for this bit, what's the best way to do this, Dan? Maybe let's just move that up, actually. It's probably the simplest way. Then we can just trim these points off. There we go. Bob's your uncle. So everything now, if I just unite these together, this should be one complete finished shape. We've got a random rogue anchor point that's snuck in there. Be gone with you. So this is how you'd want to supply any like finished up professional work. You don't want to leave stray anchor points and bits that aren't tidied up. You want to clean everything up like so. I feel like the kerning's slightly off. I feel like the U and the X is off anyway, actually. So what I'm going to do is ungroup these, and I'm actually going to try spacing them out a bit. This can sometimes be an easy way to make things look a bit more luxurious. It's just to give the letters a bit of breathing room. And if we were to flip this round, so we'll flip it back to white, just so we kind of can compare with the original design. We're obviously we'll stick with black. If we just hop back to the original here, so very abstract, an infinity symbol, trying to, I think in the brief, appeal to too many different groups and there wasn't enough context. And then we've sort of taken that design and combined it into Lux or G-Lux. I'm not entirely sure what the brand name is, but we've got that subtle infinity symbol combined into the logo type, which is nice. But we've also very carefully created the lettering, or the E letter, I should say, from scratch, so that it does match the other letters from a typographic perspective.